Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cooking for the Family. I'm Dyvonne and today I'm going to share with y'all, this is an old school recipe. It is Bisquick Velvet Coffee Cake. Let me tell y'all, I made this past weekend for breakfast and I made it with some eggs and sausage and the family had juice and coffee. So I'm going to share with you how to put this velvet crumb coffee cake together. So first we're going to put in 1.5 cups of the Bisquick mix. And to that, we're going to add 1/2 cup of regular granulated sugar. Now I'm using my stand mixer, but you don't necessarily have to use a stand mixer in order to make this coffee cake. You can just go on and just use a bowl and use a nice big spoon or either a nice wire whisk. Either one of those will work just fine. And so to that, I also put 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and then we're also going to put some milk. I'm using 2% milk, but you can use 2% milk or whole milk. And so to that, I'm adding 1/2 cup of milk. Now, once I add the milk, before I add the eggs, I want to go ahead and get this going in my mixer. Now, also with my egg, I did have my egg at room temperature because room temperature eggs are going to blend better into your batter. Once I get the mixer going, then I go ahead and I add in my 1 egg. And to our batter, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And before I add my vanilla, I always like to shake it because sometimes vanilla can settle at the bottom. So once I add my teaspoon of vanilla and I've got my mixer going, be sure, if you're using a mixer like I am, be sure to scrape down the sides so we don't miss any of the dry ingredients. And we're going to be mixing our batter, whether you're using a stand mixer or if you're mixing by hand or a hand mixer, we're going to make sure that we blend our batter until there are no more lumps and we have a nice smooth consistency. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome in, and if you returner, welcome back. And I want to thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your good vibe comments. I am truly grateful. My little channel is growing, and I appreciate you coming and spending time with me in my kitchen. So once I have the batter and it's all nice and ready to go, we're going to bake our coffee cake in an 8x8 square pan. Now you can also use a round pan as well. And so I'm just going to use my 8x8 glass pan and I'm going to spray it with some non-stick spray. Now while I'm doing this, I have my oven. My oven is preheating on 350 degrees and our coffee cake is going to bake from 20 to 30 minutes. Now what I found is that I checked my coffee cake at 15 minutes and my coffee cake was just about done. So my coffee cake actually came out of the oven at 18 minutes. And because ovens may vary, so check your coffee cake at 15 minutes and when you insert a tester, it should come out clean. Now we're not going to put the topping on just yet. We're going to first bake up the coffee cake. Now in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make this velvet crumb coffee cake. Now in my bowl, I have some soft butter and I'm using salted butter because this recipe doesn't call for any salt. Now if you're using unsalted butter, put the tiniest pinch of salt into your butter when you're going to be mixing this topping. That's because that little tiny bit of salt is going to help to balance out the sweetness of the topping. But again, I'm using some salted butter. So I have the 3 tablespoons of soft butter. To my butter, I'm adding 1/2 cup of sweetened flaked coconut, and this is the one that I'm using, so I'm going to put in 1/2 cup. Now I'm going to have a suggestion if you don't care for coconut, something that you could use, or if you don't have any coconut on hand. So next I'm going to put in some brown sugar. I'm using light brown sugar and I'm putting in 1/3 cup of light brown sugar that I've packed it into my measuring cup. And then we're going to add our chopped pecans and I'm using 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. I actually have a little bit more than 1/4 cup, but about 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. And then what you want to do is you want to take your soft butter, your pecans, your brown sugar, and your coconut and kind of press and blend them together. I'm using a fork to kind of get everything going. Now also for the topping, the original recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of milk to be added to the topping when you're mixing it. I actually left it out and I think the topping came out just fine, but in the description box below, I will have that notation to add 2 tablespoons of milk if you'd like. Our coffee cake has baked up nicely. It's a beautiful golden brown. It smells really good. And so you just want to let the coffee cake cool for about 5 minutes out of the oven, about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take the topping and just kind of shake it all over. We're going to be using all of the topping to put all over, and then we're going to put it back into the oven. Now, with the flake coconut, something else that you could use is some crushed cereal, such as corn flakes or Wheaties or the Special K. Either one of those, just crush it, and you want to crush it and get a half a cup, which is going to be the same portion size as you would with the coconut. So you want a half a cup of crushed corn flakes or crushed Wheaties will work really good, and then you would mix that in just like you would if you were using the coconut. You would mix that in to go ahead and form your topping. Now once we have our topping all nice and situated on top, and I've got it from end to end, then I have my oven. I put it on broil. So we have our oven on broil. We're going to put it about 4 inches from the broiler. And I'm going to put this in the oven, and it's going to broil and get nice and crispy on top. So it's out of the oven, our coffee cake, the brown sugar, the coconut, the pecans have toasted up underneath the broiler, and it's just looking so good. It smells so good. I'm going to go ahead and slice into this and serve us up some. And that brown sugar, toasting it under the broiler with the pecans and the coconut and with the butter. And what I found is that it took on this caramely like taste to the topping, and it made it seem like it would be something you'd get at like a cafe or maybe one of those old school diners with the counters. Well, this is what our velvet coffee cake is looking like. It is looking so good. Let me tell you, you're gonna get 9 servings out of this. When you slice it, you'll have 3 rows, and each row will have 3 pieces in it. And let me tell you, it did not seem like it was enough for the family because this coffee cake went fast. So I'm gonna get your bite ready. This is your bite right here. Go ahead and take your bite. I'm gonna take my bite. Y'all, you have got to give this recipe a try. I see why it has been around for such a long time. And this recipe definitely can be doubled. And if you're doubling it, you want to go ahead and bake it off in a 13x9 pan. Well, that is it for me today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me today in my kitchen. If you are not subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video and appreciate the content, don't forget to show it some love. Give it a thumbs up. Click share this video with a friend or family, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you can come back and visit me again in my kitchen. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.